Now, let me bring on board, in fact, Anuj Khanna Soham, Chairman, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer at Affle 3i Limited. Anuj, great having you. Viewers, just to kind of contextualize this, the company has received another India patent, which was previously granted in the US. Anuj, it's been a while since we spoke, so good catching up. But let me try and first get a perspective. What does this patent do for you, especially from an India standpoint? Can you give us some color on that?
Sure, absolutely. Well, thanks for having me over. As you would know, that Affle has already got a very robust patent portfolio of 39 unique patents, of which 18 unique patents have already been granted across United States, India, and all of these are including about 300 unique patent claims that are enforceable today, which means that we have a very strong competitive advantage that all this, patent claims, if any other competitor around the world is using similar capabilities in their product or platform, it allows Affle to go and enforce its rights to say that we are the inventor, we've got this patent and these claims. So it creates a very strong, credible, competitive advantage for our company. Now, these patent claims that we talk about, and about 300 of these unique patent claims within the 18 unique patents that are already granted, cover various areas. The most recent ones are establishing our competitive moat around how do you filter out internet traffic into which traffic is coming from human engagement, where people like you and I are using our mobile device, an actual human is engaging with that content or experience, whereas an agent, an AI agent or an automated machine or a bot, which is a machine creating that content engagement. So the biggest part of our business is how do you filter the internet traffic into where human involvement is absolutely clear, where we can drive human conversions for our advertisers, versus filtering out the non-human traffic where machines or apps or bots or AI agents are engaging with the content, because none of us want to show, let's say, ads to a fraudulent or AI machine bot. So in Affle's business model, it's super important to filter out human versus non-human traffic. And a lot of our patents, especially the recent ones, are covering that very significantly.
Okay. So therefore, in terms of Philip on growth, what does this do? Anuj, give us a color. Does this give you more confidence to hike your guidance for FY27? And if so, by what quantum?
See, absolutely. When we look at our technology stack and it being AI ready, and when I say AI, it means audience intelligence. We can filter out the audience based on which is the human audience versus which is the non-human, like machine-based bot or agentic or AI-based audience. We are able to filter that. Our tech platform is ready to deal with, let's say, the AI-related evolution of the internet. And on the other hand, AI also means advertiser intelligence. Our platform has direct integrations with advertisers across categories of EFGH. We are already deeply integrated for first-party data integration with our advertisers globally. And that means that in the evolution of our platform towards next financially or next many financial years, let's say next 3 to 5 years, we have a very strong growth outlook where we believe that at least on top line, we should be calibrated at around 20% organic, consistent growth factors going forward. And on the bottom line, because we are a very asset-light, technology platform-based company, so we will see a much faster expansion on the bottom line growth.
And that's exactly what I wanted to talk about, Anuj, because you clearly have been doubling down on your AI across your ad tech stack. Wanted to understand whether there are any specific AI capabilities that you're building upon, or for that matter, even looking to acquire.
I will say build versus buy is always a financial decision, but the direction is very clear. We want to be at the forefront of what we are doing with respect to AI. So I will give you a few flavors of what we are doing with AI in terms of our decision-making stack. The first thing is the content that the consumer is viewing or watching. Is it generated by a machine or is it generated by a human? I think it's very important to distinguish that, because these days a lot of news, a lot of sites, a lot of videos, a lot of content on the internet is generated by the machine, by AI versus humans. So knowing where are we placing the ad? Are we placing the ad on a human-generated content or are we placing it on a machine-generated content? So we have good technology assets there. Second, we are looking at who is engaging with that content. Is it a human user who's actively engaging with the content, or it is a AI which is somehow, engaging with that moment of engagement with the content? So again, filtration of this is a very, very important aspect. And the third is, of course, the deeper integration with the advertisers' first-party data to make sure that on one side, advertiser intelligence, on the other hand, audience intelligence, this is what is powering our AI strategy. And we are really building strongly in this area. If we find any acquisition target which is priced appropriately, and you would know that the stock markets are down, this is a good time for Affle to be out there to be a buyer. If the right asset is found at the right price, for which we have shortlisted a few companies, we will patiently and carefully evaluate that. And hopefully sometime in this financial year, we will find the right target to do any acquisition that fits into this very coherent strategy that we have outlined for ourselves.
Right, Anuj. Anuj, with regard to the 20% organic growth, which you've guided for FY26, what's the FY27 thought process in terms of growth? Can you continue to grow at that kind of clip, given, of course, all the global uncertainties that are playing out? But is the kind of order traction continuing to sustain? Give us a color on that.
So, I mean, what I mentioned is, of course, barring any, a quarter or, any dramatic changes in the ecosystem in the world. But I think what I'm talking about is, as far as, let's say, AI-related readiness is concerned, we see strong tailwinds for our business to continue growing, not only in FY26, but I did mention for, let's say, next 3 to 5 years, calibrating our business plans are calibrated at least around 20% top line organic growth, even for FY27 and hopefully many years beyond that. What is the impact of, let's say, geopolitical situations? I think at this moment, we are very carefully assessing it. But the fact is, there will be headwinds about it, whether it is the currency change or USD to INR or around the world, or whether there are changes in advertiser spends at a certain time. But I still see Affle as a relatively small company with a very large addressable market. So to find 20% growth with the kind of AI tailwinds that we are seeing will hopefully help us to navigate the headwinds of geopolitical issues and yet deliver around 20% growth as we go along.
So broadly on your IP strategy, and in addition to this new one as well, Anuj, if you could just tell us whether the strategy is somewhere to perhaps actively license it to try and generate higher revenues eventually?
No, at this moment, we are building and keeping our platform proprietary. We are making sure that our tech IP is building credible moat around our proprietary technology on the CPCU business model, driving human conversions for advertisers, and running that unique business model globally. And we are building a lot of credibility, a lot of case studies on our tech platform and growing based on that. Should we be licensing? At this moment, we are not open to licensing, but we will see if the competitors start copying, using our IP and building such features in their products going forward. We will certainly pursue that in the appropriate forums and see whether we charge royalty selectively or look for stopping or holding them back. At this moment, it's about credible portfolio and telling our investors we are future ready, we are future proofing our business with respect to AI. AI is a tailwind to our business. And I think even with the geopolitical headwinds, with the kind of strong AI tailwind in our business, we hope to deliver 20% organic growth consistently.
So Anuj, at what point does the AI investment cycle then shift from being a cost center to clear margin driver? And for investors of yours who are watching the show right now, what specific margin milestones can they track for your AI generation story and the kind of revenues that it incurs?
See, we are a very bottom line sensible company. So when the question comes on margins, if you look at over the last year, we have consistently grown our EBITDA performance of the organization in the 22% plus range. And we have been plus or minus hovering in that zone between 22 to 23% for the last few quarters. And I think that's the right place to see us at. And going forward, our goal would be to consistently enhance our bottom line performance. As I mentioned, top line growth being modeled at 20% is sensible for our company, even with the geopolitical headwinds. In terms of margin expansion, I would think as the volume of business grows 20% progressively, we will see a higher growth on the bottom line, which means there should be margin expansion. Would I quantify that today? Not really. I think let's see how it pans out, but I would see margin expansion and I see bottom line growing faster than the top line.
And Anuj, you relieved duties in the middle of April. What does that do to the business? Because doesn't that bring more uncertainty, if anything?
Sorry, who relieves duties? You got it wrong, my friend. I'm leading Affle for now almost 21 years. We complete 21 years on 5th of April, 2026. And I am committed to leading the company in full executive capacity on 5th gear for another 2 decades at least, if health and intellect permitting. One of our co-founders who is completing 20 years with us on 5th April, he's the one who is based out of Spain, and he's having a very graceful transition, having made a wonderful 20 years of contribution, and is now graduating from our company. And we're going to be celebrating it very gracefully on 5th of April this year.
I stand corrected, Anuj. Extreme apologies for that. But yes, I get your point. And so that role, if at all vacated, will get very easily kind of plugged, in your opinion?
It's already plugged in.
That's
in fact,
correct.
in January 2026, we brought on board Samir Sondhi, who is our CEO for North America, looking at developed markets, and is also our Chief of Strategic Investments globally. He was the CEO of Verve Group previously, which is a company that's listed in Sweden. So he is based out of US for now 25 years, has tremendous experience in ad tech, and he's a key leader for us to drive that. We've also had Gulrez Alam, who has rejoined our company after, I think he was with us in year 2020. In 26, now he has joined us again as the Chief Revenue Officer for emerging markets globally. And again, he's strengthened the management team. We also have Martin Price, who joined us he has great experience in product development. He's a VP of products for us globally at this moment, based out of US, and has tons of experience in very large ad tech companies. So I think the management team is ready for the kind of growth we're looking at. And I think the transition of our co-founder is a natural course of the business evolution.
Perfect, Anuj. Sorry, both of you share the same name, and hence the kind of confusion that cropped up. Sorry for that.
That's all right. You can refer to him as Mr. Kumar, and if you like, I can still call me Anuj.
Okay. Thanks so much.
I want to know whether you're traveling to Spain for this farewell bash or no.
Oh, no. The farewell is happening in India. It's going to be happening in and around in Rajasthan. We've got, hundreds of employees coming in together for that celebration. And that tells you we are in great spirits, and, we are absolutely ready for what's coming ahead.
Okay. Good luck with that. Thanks, Anuj, for your time today. Good to be speaking with you as always.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well,